Hey 9-year-old me, listen up. In about 10 to 11 years, give or take, there is going to be a Gundam movie, and you are gonna go nuts over it when you see it, alright? Hello? Yeah, apparently you can call your younger selves now. Is directed by Guillermo Del Toro and stars Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, Ron Perlman, Charlie Day, and as I said in the intro, it's basically like a Gundam movie. The story is there are these big aliens that rise from the ocean, and they're causing destruction to cities and so forth. And basically, all the countries in the world unite together with resources to build these huge giant robots called Jaegers. And basically the whole idea is that they can fight in them, that two soldiers have to get in the Jaegers, have to control it, and they fight the monsters with them. That is basically what the movie's about, ladies and gents. Del Toro fan through and through. I loved the first two Hellboys. I loved Pan's Labyrinth. I thought Blade 2 was really good. So I'm glad to hear that Guillermo Del Toro is going to go back into the game of directing, because he hasn't directed since Hellboy 2. I mean, after Hellboy 2, he was going to do The Hobbit, but he dropped out for some reason. I don't know why. And he's just been producing. He's just been doing producing the DreamWorks anime movies like Rise of the Guardians and Puss in Boots, and he produced the horror movies like Mama and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. So forth. So it's really great to see Del Toro back in directing, and he couldn't have picked a better movie to direct, because Pacific Rim was incredible, man. I mean, I'm sure some film hipster will criticize it for being, it's just a mindless, action movie and so forth. I'm like, well, duh. When we saw the trailer for Pacific Rim and the clips and TV spots and so forth, we just wanted to see robots versus monsters, and my God, we got it, man. It's awesome. It's just like the fights in this movie are amazing. The CGI is great too. The 3D is wonderful. I saw an IMAX 3D. I suggest go seeing IMAX 3D because it's magnificent. The fights are awesome. They're big, they're huge, and they're smashing through buildings, and you really do feel like these things are big when the Jaegers take on the Kaijus, which are the monsters. They're just duking it out, and it brings back the little kid in you. Just especially me, when I grew up as a Gundam fan as a kid. It's just really cool to see just those Gundam fantasies just come true in the movies. On top of that, this movie, besides having all the really cool fights and so forth, this movie has some really good actors to back it up. You know what I mean? You have the dude from Sons of Anarchy who plays the lead role, and he was pretty good. I mean, he was pretty good. He has this story arc that he has to get through. He has to get back in the game, into using a Jaeger again, and that's pretty cool. And the standouts in this movie are Idris Elba, who plays this commanding officer. He was awesome, by the way. He's he kind of reminds me of Bill Pullman from Independence Day. He had that sort of presence to him. You know what I mean? And besides him, Ron Perlman's in this movie. He's really good too. He's Ron Perlman. You never get a bad performance from Ron Perlman. You know what I mean? He's awesome. Even in something bad like Alien Resurrection, I always say, well, Ron Perlman was awesome. And Charlie Day. Now, I'm a Charlie Day fan from watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I liked him in Horrible Bosses. And I was kind of worried that since he was beginning to be the comic relief, that he would take away from the entire movie. He would make it. He would be kind of out of place, and he wasn't. He was actually pretty. He's actually pretty funny. He's one of the lead scientists and so forth, and he was actually pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, this was just it was a fun big movie. I mean, if you're a fan of Gundam or Godzilla, I'm pretty sure you'll like it. If you're a fan of just having a good time at the movies, you'll really like it. I personally did, and I'm gonna give Pacific Rim an A. I think it's a fantastic movie. You're gonna have a lot of fun at the movies, and Del Toro, welcome back to directing, dude. So yeah, and there's also a credit scene midway that I'm not gonna spoil, but do check it out because it's pretty funny. But so yeah, that's my thoughts on Pacific Rim, and yeah. So what do you think about Pacific Rim and so far? So tell me. Yeah.